Hola, clase! This week we are talking about subject pronouns. So, pronouns are words that take the place of a noun, and the ones we're focusing on today are ones that would be the subject of the sentence. We know that all sentences have a subject and a verb. The verb is the action, the subject is who or what is doing the action. So, in this case, we have words like I, you, he, she, we, y'all, and they. Um, if I wanted to say a sentence like Senora Tay reads a book, I could replace Senora Tay with she. That would be the subject pronoun. So when we look at a lot of grammar things in Spanish, you're going to see this chart often. We divide it into two columns, singular and plural, and then three rows, first person, second person, and third person. You'll see this over and over again as we get into more grammar aspects of Spanish this year. When we talk about singular, we know that means one, and then plural is more than one. First person is when you're talking about yourself. Second person is when you're talking to someone. And third person is when you're talking about someone. So the first person singular subject pronoun is I in English. In Spanish, it is yo. Second person, if you're talking to someone and being informal, you would say you in English or tú in Spanish. We also have a formal you. So if you're talking to someone who is older than you, if you are talking to your boss, if you're talking to someone you're meeting for the first time, anyone you want to be a little bit more formal with and show more respect to, you would use that formal usted or ud period. For he or she, if we're talking about someone else, he is él and she is ella. Notice that L does have an accent mark over the E. Without the accent mark, we know the word L means the. So make sure you're including that accent mark when you're using the subject pronoun. Let's say those singular subject pronouns in Spanish. Repitan, por favor. Yo, tú, usted, él, ella. Bien. When we look at the plural side, many of those have two forms. That's because when we are plural and we have more than one person, we also have to think about gender. So we know in gender in Spanish, males are masculine, females are feminine. If we have a mixed group, males and females, it does not matter how many you have, but you always use the masculine form. So if you have one male and one female, we use the masculine form. If you have 10 males and one female, you use the masculine form. If you have 100 females and one male, you use the masculine form. It's just the way the language works. So for the plural pronouns, if you're talking about yourself and other people, so my friends and I could say we in English. In Spanish, it's nosotros if we are males or a mixed group, or nosotras if we are all females. We do have that informal form of you in the plural as well. It's kind of like saying y'all. This is only used in Spain. So anywhere else, you would use the formal ustedes. But in Spain, they use vosotros or vosotras. If you are being formal in Spain or if you're anywhere else talking to a group of people, you use ustedes, and you can abbreviate that with UD period. For they, if it's the masculine form, all males or a mixed group, it is ellos. If it is all females, ellas. Let's say those plural pronouns. Repitan, por favor. Nosotros. Nosotras. Vosotros, vosotras, ustedes, ellos, ellas. Muy bien. Remember that double L makes the y sound. Ellos, ellas. When we go to the next slide here, we're going to practice a little bit about which pronouns we should use in different situations. So you can see the chart is there with all of our pronouns. And the first section says, which pronoun would you use when talking to the following people? So I want you to pause this video and take a minute to see if you can figure out which one of those pronouns you would use when talking to those people. Keep in mind that you're going to be using the second person, you, either formal or informal, depending on who you're talking to. So for your principal, you're going to be a little bit more formal. You should use usted. If you're talking to a friend, you can be informal and use tú. A new neighbor, which would be someone you're meeting for the first time, you would be more formal and use usted. But as time goes on and you become friends with them, you could move it to tú. And your cousins would be plural, so you go to that plural side. You're probably going to be informal with your cousins, so if you're in Spain, you could use vosotros or vosotras, depending on if they are all males, all females, or a mixed group. If you're anywhere else, you would use ustedes. At the bottom, now it has which subject pronoun would you use when talking about the following. So in the top part, we were talking to the people. In the bottom part, we're talking about them. So again, go ahead and pause this, take a few minutes and see if you can figure out which of those Spanish pronouns you would use in each case. So if you're talking about your principal, our principal, Mr. Hopkins, is a male, so we would use the he, él. A male friend would be él. A new female neighbor, ella. Your cousins, if they are all males or mixed group, ellos. If they are all females, ellas. If you're talking about yourself, you use yo. Yourself and a male friend, now you go into that plural column. We're still first person, I'm still including myself, so I'm still on that top line. And if it's a male friend, regardless of if I'm male or female, that makes it at least a mixed group, so it would be nosotros. If you're talking about yourself and a female friend, this one would change depending on if you are a male or a female. So if you are a male and you're talking about yourself and a female friend, it would be nosotros. If you are a female and you're talking about yourself and a female friend, then you would use the feminine nosotras. If you're talking about your classmates, assuming it's a mixed group, which most of our classes are, it would be ellos. If you happen to only be talking about female classmates, then it would be ellas. So you can use this slide to help you review that as well. After you watch this lesson, you can also go into your Canvas page, and there is a video with Senior Jordan. He's the guy that has the puppet Lucas that we've watched some videos of before. So when you go onto your Canvas page, hopefully for you it pops up with your week 4 Spanish assignment with your pronouns there. So you'll have the recorded lesson, the slides are there as well. Senior Jordan has another little lesson, talks a little bit more about the tú and usted, the different pronouns, and there's a song at the end to help you. You can watch that video as well. And then there is a quiz for you to take over the subject pronouns. It should be pretty quick and easy, so take some time to review those, watch the videos, and take the quiz. If you have any questions, you can message me. Otherwise, I will see you next week.